Hello and welcome to marketing91.com. In this video, we are going to cover the topic on market structure and perfect competition. Let's start with the introduction to market structure. A market is a group of firms and individuals that are in touch with each other to buy or sell some goods. A given type of market within a market structure depends on many factors such as nature of commodity, freedom of entry and exit, control over supply, and control over price. Types of market include perfect competition, monopoly, oligopoly, and monopolistic competition. Let's look at each one of them briefly, starting with perfect competition. It is a market situation with many sellers and buyers. A large number of buyers and sellers prevent a single seller or buyer from influencing the price. Commodity sold is identical with no quantitative and qualitative differences. Thus, there is no scope for price differentiation and discrimination. In perfect competition, a seller is a price taker. He accepts the price determined in the market by total demand and supply. There is free market entry and exit. Example, market for agricultural commodities. Moving on to monopoly. It is a market situation in which there is only one seller, that is the producer, selling a homogeneous or unique product. The producer has almost near total control on the supply. Therefore, he can decide the price and output. However, to maximize profit, he can control either price or output. Being a sole supplier, he can discriminate price between buyers and between markets. It is difficult to fully understand a monopoly market in which a producer has total control over supply, whereas market entry is highly restricted or almost zero. Example in this case is the Indian Railway system, which has a monopoly in railroad transportation. Moving on to oligopoly. The market has a few sellers selling standardized or differentiated product commodities. Entry to an oligopoly market is free, however, it is actually very difficult as there are many barriers such as technology, finance, etc. Oligopoly firms, being small in number, may collaborate and form a cartel in which they may have an implicit understanding to influence price. Each firm may have some influence over price, especially when the product is differentiated. Price can be decided by a dominant firm that becomes a leader. Advertising is used because oligopoly firms compete with each other and indulge in non-price competition to attract customers. Moving further, an oligopoly market could turn into a monopoly through mergers and acquisition. Examples: the airline industry, petroleum refining, automobile industry, and internet service providers. Fourth, monopolistic competition. It is a market in which many sellers sell differentiated products. Market entry is not difficult, though it is not as free as perfect competition. Because a product is differentiated, restricting entry through patent rights is difficult. Production differentiation is done through different design, size, color, and other product characteristics. However, products remain close substitutes to each other. Advertisements through different media are used to engage in non-price competition. Each firm may claim that its product is superior to its substitute in terms of quality attributes. Product demand is elastic because products are close substitutes. Moving further, price is determined by market forces. However, there is enough scope for price differentiation based on product differentiation. Example: restaurants, hotels and pubs, generalist specialist retailing, and consumer services. Moving on to perfect competition, which is a market structure in which many firms offer an homogeneous product. Because there is freedom of entry and exit and perfect information, firms will make normal profits and prices will be kept low by competitive pressures. Conditions for a market to be perfectly competitive: first, large number of buyers and sellers; second, homogeneous commodity and single uniform price; third, free entry and exit; fourth, complete market information; fifth, perfect mobility of factors of product; and sixth, no transportation cost. A distinction is usually made between pure and perfect competition. Of the above 6 conditions, the first 3 conditions make competition pure and all 6 make it perfect. Moving on, price under perfect competition is determined by total demand and total supply in the market. Going further, price is determined by the intersection of the market demand and market supply curves as shown in the figure. Thus, price determined is accepted by the individual consumer and seller. They can purchase or sell any amount of commodity at the prevailing price. The horizontal line shows the price to be charged and paid by the individual seller and buyer. In perfect competition, a seller is a price taker. Moving on to short-run equilibrium of a firm. A. Equilibrium conditions. A firm applies the principles of marginal cost and marginal revenue while deciding to produce its output. In perfect competition, we can obtain a firm's average revenue as AR is equal to P into Q, which is equal to TR upon Q. That is, P is equal to AR. Marginal revenue is equal to TR because a firm sells the total quantity for the same price per unit. A change in TR is equal to P. Thus, P is equal to AR is equal to MR. Moving on to the short-run equilibrium of a firm. Given a price, demand and cost, a rational firm aiming to maximize profit reduces output up to the point of equilibrium, that is MC is equal to MR, and MC increases at the point of equilibrium. A firm in equilibrium does not necessarily earn profit. The firm could simply observe equilibrium rules to determine its output and sell at the prevailing price. Now moving on to the long-run equilibrium of a firm. Long run is the time period in which all costs are variable and the firm can expand or contract capacity as required. New firms may enter the market if an existing firm earns excess profit, and those firms who cannot cover their total cost leave the market. A firm that remains in the market only earns normal profit. The long run position of the firm is output, which is OQ, price, which is OP, TC is equal to OQSP, TR is equal to OQSP, therefore TR is equal to TC. The firm earns normal profit at the point where P is equal to AR, which is equal to MR, which is equal to AC, which is equal to MC. Moving on to the equilibrium of industry and firm. An industry is an equilibrium where all firms are in equilibrium. Equilibrium usually occurs in the long run. New firms are attracted to the industry owing to the excess profit earned by the existing firms. Firms that incur losses leave the industry. The entry of new firms wipes out excess profit, and the exit of loss-making firms enables remaining firms to earn normal profits. Going further, figure on the left represents an industry in which aggregate demand and supply determine price, whereas the figure on the right depicts a firm's equilibrium position. Moving further, at price OP1, a firm produces OQ1 output and earns excess profit, that is NLTP1. Attracted by supernormal profits, new firms enter the market and the supply curve shifts to the right. Increased supply reduces the price to OP. At OP, a firm produces less and only earns normal profit, and it is in equilibrium at E. Thus, TR, which is OQEP, is equal to TC, which is also OQEP. If market price is OP2, owing to excess supply, a firm is in loss with OQ2 output. Thus, TR, which is OQ2 MP2, is less than TC, which is OQ2 SN, and loss is equal to, as shown in the figure, P2 MSN. Under identical conditions, all firms only earn normal profit, and therefore the industry is in equilibrium with normal profit. Thank you.